The board's decision came faster than I expected. 3 days after my presentation, I was sitting in my office, reviewing vendor contracts when my phone rang. The board chairman. His voice was formal but warm. "We'd like to see you in the conference room. Can you come now?" I knew what this was. Could feel it in my bones. I grabbed my notebook, walked down the hallway with steady steps. The same conference room where I'd presented my findings, where I'd laid out the truth about Vanessa's failures, where everything had finally come into the light. All 7 board members were present. My father sat at the far end, looking older somehow, more tired. The chairman gestured to a seat. Sat. Folded my hands on the table. Waited. "We've reviewed your findings thoroughly," he began. "Discussed the recommendations. Consulted with our attorney and financial advisors. And we've made some decisions." He nodded, keeping my expression neutral. Professional, even though my heart was racing. "First," he continued, "we want to extend your consulting contract 6 more months to oversee implementation of your recommendations." I'd expected that. "Second, we're restructuring the operations department, creating new oversight protocols, bringing in additional support staff." Also expected. Then he paused, looked at the other board members, back to me. "And third, we're asking Vanessa to step down as Vice President of Operations. Effective immediately." The words hung in the air. Heavy. Final. I felt something twist in my chest. Not satisfaction exactly. Not victory. Recognition. That truth had consequences. That reality couldn't be ignored forever. "She'll be offered a different position," the chairman added quickly. "Something more suited to her actual skill set. Lower level. Less responsibility. If she chooses to stay. And if she doesn't?" I asked quietly. He shrugged slightly. "Then she doesn't. The company has to move forward. With or without her." My father hadn't spoken yet. Hadn't looked at me. Just stared at his hands on the table, looking defeated. The meeting continued for another hour. Details about the restructuring. Timeline for changes. My role in implementation. When it finally ended, everyone filed out. Except my father. He stayed seated, still not looking at me. I gathered my things slowly, waiting to see if he'd speak. Finally he did. "This is my fault." His voice was rough. Stop. Looked at him. "I pushed her into that position," he continued. "She wasn't ready. Wasn't qualified. But I wanted both my daughters to succeed. To have opportunities. To." He trailed off, unable to finish. "You gave her opportunities one never got," I said quietly. Not angry. Just stating fact. "You paid for her education while I worked 3 jobs. You promoted her without question while I had to prove myself constantly. You believed her lies at my wedding, without asking for my side." He flinched at each statement. I know all of that. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." The apology I'd waited 3 years to hear. And now that it came, felt shallow somehow. Too late. Not enough. "I don't know if sorry fixes this," I said honestly. "I don't know if we can get back to being father and daughter. Not the way we were." "I understand," he whispered. I need you to know. See it now. What I did. What we all did. How we failed you." He nodded, accepting his words without quite forgiving them. "The company needs strong leadership," I said, shifting back to professional ground. "It needs someone who understands operations, who can rebuild trust with clients and staff, who can make the hard decisions." He looked up at me then, really looked at me. "It needs you." The words settled between us. Unexpected. Significant. "I'm a consultant," I said carefully. "Not an executive." "You could be," he replied. "If you wanted. If you'd consider it." I didn't answer. Just picked up my notebook, walked to the door. "Let me think about it." His small nod was the last thing I saw before I left. I went back to my office, closed the door, sat in my chair, and let myself process everything. News spread through the company by end of day. Vanessa was being asked to step down. The operations department was being restructured. Change was coming. I could feel the energy shift in the building. People whispered in hallways, gathered in small groups. Some looked relieved, others worried. Everyone uncertain about what came next. Kept my head down, focused on work. Didn't engage in gossip or speculation. Around 5 in the afternoon, Vanessa's assistant walked past my office. Her eyes were red. She'd been crying. 30 minutes later, I saw Vanessa herself, walking toward the elevator, carrying a small box. Her face was blank, completely expressionless, like she'd shut down emotionally. Our eyes met for just a second as she passed. Then she looked away, pressed the elevator button, waited. The doors opened. She stepped inside, and she was gone. I sat at my desk for a long time after that, staring at my computer screen without seeing it. This was what I'd worked toward, what I'd proven, what truth had revealed. But it didn't feel like I thought it would. Didn't feel triumphant or satisfying. Just felt complicated, real. That night my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello. Silence. Then a voice I recognized. Vanessa. Everything's falling apart. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Broken. Defeated. I didn't respond. Didn't know what to say. I don't know what to do, she continued. The board, father, everyone, they all see it now. See that I failed. That I wasn't good enough. That you were right. Still I said nothing. Just listened. I lost everything, she whispered. The job, the respect, everything. I could hear tears in her voice. Real pain, real fear. Part of me wanted to comfort her, to say something kind. But another part, the part that remembered standing at that altar, watching my life shatter, that part stayed quiet. You did this to yourself, I finally said. My voice was calm, steady, without anger or satisfaction, just truth. You destroyed my wedding, my reputation, my relationship. You took what wasn't yours, and you couldn't handle it. This isn't my fault. It's yours. I hung up before she could respond, sat in my apartment, feeling the calmest I'd felt in 3 years. The next few weeks blurred together. I worked 12-hour days, implementing changes, meeting with department heads, rebuilding processes, restructuring teams. Slowly, very slowly, things started improving. Client complaints decreased. Employee morale lifted slightly. Projects started meeting deadlines. The chaos began organizing into order. People started trusting leadership again. Started believing that maybe, just maybe, things could get better. I noticed small changes. People smiled when they passed me in the halls, said good morning, asked questions without fear. The heavy atmosphere that had hung over operations began to lift. One afternoon, Trevor, the senior manager who'd given me information, stopped by my office. I heard you're staying on, he said, leading the restructuring. For now, I confirmed. That's good, he said. Really good. People are hopeful for the first time in years. You're making a difference. After he left, I sat at my desk, thinking about his words. Making a difference. That's all I'd ever wanted. To do meaningful work. To help. Lead. Matter. Not because of my family name, but because of what I could actually do. A month after Vanessa stepped down, I arrived at my office to find it empty. Not my office, hers, the vice president office. The corner office with the big windows and expensive furniture. The one that should have been mine 3 years ago. Carol from facilities was standing there with a key. The board asked me to show you, she said. They're offering it to you. If you want it. I stepped inside. The space was larger than my current office. Better view. Better light. This was the physical symbol of everything I'd lost. Everything Vanessa had taken. Everything I'd fought to prove I deserved. They're also offering you the position, Carol added quietly. Officially, Vice President of Operations. The board voted this morning. Unanimous. I walked to the window, looked out at the city, at the life I'd built beyond this company, at everything I'd accomplished on my own. Can I think about it? Yes. Carol nodded. Of course. Take your time. After she left, I stood in that empty office, trying to figure out how I felt. This was everything I'd wanted once. Position. The recognition. The proof that I'd been right all along. But was it what I wanted now? That evening, Kelly called. I told her about the offer, about the office, about the decision I had to make. What do you want? She asked. Simple question. Complicated answer. I don't know, I admitted. Part of me wants to take it. To claim what should have been mine. Prove something. I don't even know what. And the other part. The other part wonders if I'm just trying to rewrite history. If I'm staying because I want to. Or because I'm still trying to prove something to people who may never really see me. She was quiet for a moment. You've already proven everything. You've built an amazing career. Helped multiple companies. Earned respect based purely on your work. You don't need this position to validate you. I know, I said. But it's your family, she finished. And that makes it complicated. Exactly. That's what made this so hard. This wasn't just about a job. It was about family. About belonging. About whether I could ever truly come home after everything that happened. I took a week to decide. Spent time thinking. Weighing options. Considering what I really wanted. Not what I thought I should want, but what would actually make me happy. On Thursday of that week, something unexpected happened. An envelope appeared on my desk. Hand-delivered. No return address. Inside was a letter. Handwritten. From Vanessa. I almost threw it away without reading. But curiosity won. I unfolded the pages. Her handwriting was shaky. Uncertain. Not the confident script I remembered. I don't expect you to forgive me, it began. I don't deserve forgiveness. But I need you to know. I need to say this. Even if you never respond. She wrote about growing up in my shadow. About feeling invisible. About watching me succeed at everything while she struggled. About the jealousy that grew into something poisonous. When you got engaged to Daniel, she wrote. When father started talking about you taking over operations, I felt like I was disappearing. Like there was no room for me in this family. In this company. Anywhere. So she destroyed me to feel seen. Had taken what was mine to prove she mattered. Standing up at your wedding, the letter continued. That was the worst thing I've ever done. I knew it even as I was doing it. Knew I was destroying you. But I couldn't stop. I needed something. Some proof that I mattered too. She described the years after. Taking the VP position. Realizing quickly she was in over her head. Making mistakes. Covering them up. Digging herself deeper. I thought if I could just pretend long enough, she wrote, I could become what everyone thought I was. But pretending doesn't make you competent. It just makes you a better liar. She apologized. Fully. Without excuses or justifications. I destroyed your wedding. Your relationship. Your reputation. I stole your position. I hurt you in ways I can't undo. And I'm sorry. I'm so deeply sorry. The letter ended simply. I'm leaving town. Starting over somewhere new. You'll probably never see me again. But I needed you to know. I see what I did. Understand now. And I'm sorry. I read it 3 times. Feeling complicated emotions. Anger. Sadness. Understanding. Pity. Relief. All of it mixed together in ways I couldn't separate. That night I made my decision. Called the board chairman. Told him I'd accept the position. Vice President of Operations. Officially. Permanently. Not as revenge. Not as proof. But because I could help. Because the company needed someone who understood it, who cared about it, who could lead it forward. "We're pleased," he said. "Really pleased. When can you start officially?" "I already have," I replied. The announcement went out the next morning. Company-wide email, press release, official statements. I was the new vice president of operations. The position Vanessa had held. The position I'd trained for years ago. The position that should have been mine from the beginning. Response was immediate. Congratulations from colleagues. Messages from clients. Emails from employees expressing relief and hope. My parents called. Both of them. On the same line. Trying to sound happy. But I could hear the guilt underneath. The awareness of everything that had led to this moment. "Congratulations," my mother said. Her voice was careful, uncertain. "Thank you," I replied. Professional, distant. "We're proud of you," my father added. "We always have been. We didn't show it properly." "No," I agreed. "You didn't." The silence stretched between us. Uncomfortable, honest. Can we try?" My mother asked. "To rebuild. To be a family again." "Maybe," I said. Same answer I'd given before. "Eventually. But it's going to take time. A lot of time. And therapy. And honesty. And actually dealing with why this happened." "We understand," my father said quietly. "We'll do whatever it takes." After we hung up, I sat in my apartment, in the space I'd built for myself, and I realized something. I didn't need their approval anymore. Didn't need their validation. Didn't need them to make me feel worthy. But maybe, just maybe, I wanted to try anyway. Not because I needed a family, but because I wanted one. On my terms. With clear boundaries. With honesty. With real relationship instead of the pretend one we'd had before. Maybe that was possible. Or maybe it wasn't. Time would tell. But either way, be okay. I'd built a life that could stand on its own. With or without them. That knowledge. That certainty. That was the real victory. My first official day as VP of Operations felt surreal. I moved into the corner office. Hung my credentials on the wall. Set up my desk the way I wanted it. Put a photo of Kelly and me on one corner. A plant on the other. Made the space mine. The first meeting I called was with the entire operations team. Everyone who'd been struggling under Vanessa's leadership. Everyone who'd been covering mistakes. Fixing problems. Trying desperately to keep things running. "I know the last few years have been difficult," I began. "I know trust has been broken. Morale has suffered. People have left. Those of you who stayed have been working twice as hard to make up for leadership failures." They watched me carefully, waiting to see what kind of leader I'd be. "I can't undo the past," I continued. "Can't erase what happened. But I can promise you this. I will listen when you raise concerns. I will trust your expertise. I will make decisions based on what's best for the team and the company. Not my ego." Something shifted in the room. Shoulders relaxed slightly. Few people nodded. "We're going to rebuild this department," I said. "Together. With transparency. With accountability. With respect for the work you do." After the meeting, people lingered. Came up to talk. To ask questions. To express cautious hope. Stephanie, the project coordinator I'd interviewed weeks ago, approached with tears in her eyes. "Thank you," she said simply, "for seeing us. For caring." That's all they'd wanted. All any of them had wanted. To be seen. To be heard. To be valued. Over the next weeks, I worked harder than I'd ever worked. Not to prove anything. Just to do the job right. To rebuild what had been broken. To create something sustainable. I restructured teams. Changed processes. Created new communication channels. Gave people authority to make decisions in their areas. Trusted their expertise. Results started showing quickly. Projects completed on time. Client satisfaction improved. Employee retention stabilized. The department that had been bleeding talent started attracting it. People wanted to work here again. Wanted to be part of something functional. Something healthy. 3 months into my tenure, we landed a major new client. Someone who'd left during Vanessa's time. Who'd seen the changes. Who was willing to give us another chance. The contract signing felt significant. Symbolic. Proof that reputation could be rebuilt. That trust could be restored. 6 months in. The company's quarterly results showed marked improvement. Revenue up. Costs down. Client retention at a 5-year high. The board called a special meeting to review progress. I presented updated metrics. Showed them the changes, the improvements, the sustainability of our new approach. When I finished, the board chairman smiled. Actually smiled. "This is exactly what we hoped for," he said. "Better than we hoped for actually. You've done exceptional work." My father nodded. Pride evident on his face. Real pride this time. Based on actual achievement. Not family obligation. After the meeting, he asked if we could talk. Just the two of us. We went to his office. The space where he'd worked for 30 years. Where he'd built this company from nothing. "I owe you more than an apology," he said. "I owe you acknowledgement. You were always the one who should have had this position. You had the skills, the training, the dedication, and I gave it to your sister because..." He paused, struggling with words. "Because I felt guilty," he finally admitted. "Guilty that you'd always been so independent, so capable. While Vanessa struggled, I thought I was helping her, giving her an opportunity to prove herself. But you weren't helping her," I said quietly. "You were setting her up to fail, putting her in a position she wasn't ready for, wasn't trained for, and letting everyone else deal with the consequences." He nodded. "I see that now. I see a lot of things now that I should have seen years ago." We talked for over an hour. Really talked. About the past. About his favoritism. About how he'd treated us differently. About the damage that had caused. It wasn't comfortable. Wasn't easy. But it was honest. More honest than we'd ever been. "I don't know if I can fully forgive yet," I told him. "What happened? What you all did. It hurt deeply. Changed me. I'm not the same person I was." "I know," he said. "And maybe that's not entirely bad. You're stronger now. More independent. More sure of yourself." "I had to be," I replied. "You left me no choice." He accepted that. Accepted responsibility. Accepted that some damage might be permanent. "Can we try," he asked, "to rebuild? Father and daughter." "We can try," I agreed. "But it has to be different. Real. Honest. No more pretending. No more favoritism. No more choosing one daughter over the other." "Agreed," he said. "Absolutely agreed." That conversation marked a turning point. Not instant healing. Not magical reconciliation. But a beginning. A foundation to build on. My parents started therapy. Individual and couples. Working through their own issues. Their patterns. Their mistakes. They invited me to join for family sessions. After some thought, I agreed. The sessions were difficult. Painful. Full of hard truths and uncomfortable revelations. But they were necessary. We couldn't move forward without understanding how we'd gotten here. One session. My mother finally admitted something she'd never said before. "I saw it," she whispered. "Saw how differently we treated you. Saw how much more we gave Vanessa. How much more we excused. But I told myself it was okay. That you were strong enough to handle it. That you didn't need us the same way she did." "I did need you," I said. "I just learned not to show it. Learned that asking for support meant being disappointed. So I stopped asking." The therapist helped us navigate these conversations. Helped us hear each other. Understand each other. Begin the slow process of healing. 8 months into my position, something unexpected happened. An email appeared in my inbox. From Daniel, my ex-fiancé. The man who'd believed Vanessa's lies. Who'd walked away without fighting for me. who'd returned that engagement ring in my hallway 3 years ago. I heard about your success, the email began. About your position at Thompson Industries. About everything you've accomplished. I wanted to reach out. To apologize. To explain. He wrote about the wedding day. About the shock. About family pressure. About doubt that had been planted and grew. I should have trusted you, he wrote. Should have asked for proof. Should have defended you. Instead, I let fear and family pressure convince me to walk away. That was wrong. Cowardly. Unforgivable. He apologized. Fully. Without excuses. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, he continued. But I needed you to know. See it now. See that your sister lied. That you were telling the truth all along. And I'm sorry. So deeply sorry for not believing you. The email ended with a question. Would you be willing to meet? To talk. I'm not asking for anything. Just a chance to apologize in person. To tell you directly how wrong I was. I read it twice. Feeling nothing. That was the surprising part. No anger. No hurt. No desire for revenge. Nothing. He was part of my past. Closed chapter. Someone who'd failed me when I needed him most. His apology, while sincere, didn't change anything. Didn't undo the pain. Didn't make me want him back. I replied simply. I appreciate your apology. I accept it. But I've moved on. I've built a new life. Better life. And I don't want to revisit the past. I hope you understand. I hope you've learned from this. I hope you'll be better for the next person. But we're done. Have been for 3 years. And I'm at peace with that. I hit send, closed my laptop, and felt nothing but relief. That chapter was fully closed now. No lingering questions. No what-ifs. Just complete closure. The next morning, got a response. Short. I understand. Thank you for responding. I wish you every happiness. You deserve it. And that was it. The end of Daniel. The final piece of my old life settling into place. Later that week, the board called another meeting. This time with an unexpected agenda. We've been discussing succession planning, the chairman began. Your father is considering retirement in the next few years. And we need to think about leadership transition. I looked at my father. He nodded. I'm not getting younger, he said. And I want to step back. Spend time with your mother. Travel. Enjoy life. The chairman continued. We'd like to discuss the possibility of you, eventually, taking over as CEO. The words hung in the air. Enormous. Significant. Life-changing. CEO. Top position. The ultimate leadership role. What I'd once dreamed of. What had seemed impossible 3 years ago. Now being offered. Considered. Discussed. I know it's a lot to think about, the chairman said. We're not asking for an answer now. Just want you to know. The board believes in you. Trusts your leadership. Sees you as the future of this company. My father spoke. I always knew you were the one meant to lead. I wish it hadn't come at the cost it did. Wish I'd seen it sooner. Handled things differently. It had to come this way, I said quietly. If you just handed me the position, I wouldn't have been ready. Wouldn't have grown the way I needed to. Path was painful, but it made me who I am. Made me the leader I needed to become. The board nodded. Understanding. Accepting. Think about it, the chairman said. No rush, but know the opportunity is there. When you're ready. After the meeting, I walked back to my office, sat at my desk, looked out the window at the city beyond. It was everything I'd once wanted. Everything I'd worked toward. Everything that had been stolen from me. Now, it was being offered freely. Based on merit. Based on proven ability. Based on who I actually was. Not family obligation. Not guilt. Not trying to make up for past mistakes. Recognition of what I could do. What I had done. What I would continue to do. A year after taking the VP position, I threw a small celebration. Not for me. For the team. For everyone who'd worked so hard. who'd trusted me, who'd helped rebuild. We rented a nice restaurant, invited the entire operations department, plus key people from other areas who'd supported us. I stood to give a toast. A year ago, this department was struggling. People were leaving. Clients were unhappy. Morale was at an all-time low. Today, we're thriving, growing, succeeding. And that's because of all of you. I raised my glass. To the team. To hard work. To honesty. To doing things right. Thank you. The applause was genuine. Warm. These people. This team. This work. This was what mattered. This was what success actually looked like. Not revenge. Not proving people wrong. Doing meaningful work. Leading well. Making a difference. Later that night, Kelly pulled me aside. How does it feel? She asked. Being back. Being successful. Having everything you fought for. Thought about it. It feels. But not because I proved anything to anyone. But because I'm doing work I love. With people I respect. In a way that honors who I actually am. You've come so far, she said softly. From that girl who ran from her wedding. Who thought she'd lost everything. I did lose everything, I corrected. And then I built something better. Something that was actually mine. 2 weeks later, my mother called. Can you come to the house? There's someone here who wants to see you. Vanessa. I knew immediately. She'd come back. My stomach tightened. Almost said no. Almost refused. But curiosity won. I'll be there in an hour. I drove to my parents' house. The same house I'd grown up in. The same house where I'd been told I wasn't good enough. Where Vanessa had always been favored. Where everything had gone so wrong. My mother opened the door. Led me to the living room. And there she was. Vanessa. Sitting on the couch. Looking completely different. Hair shorter. No makeup. Simple clothes. Thinner. Older somehow. She looked up when I entered. Eyes met. So much history between us. So much pain. Hi, she said quietly. Hi, I replied. We sat in awkward silence. My parents hovering nervously. I'll make coffee, my mother said. Escaping to the kitchen. My father followed. Leaving us alone. I got your letter, I finally said. Thank you for being honest. I meant every word, she replied. I've been in therapy. Trying to understand why I did what I did. Trying to become better. Different. That's good, I said. Meaning it. I heard about your promotion, she continued. About your success. I'm happy for you. Really. You deserve it. Thank you. She took a breath. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. No, I probably never will. But I needed to see you. To say to your face. Sorry. For everything. For the wedding. For the lies. For taking what wasn't mine. For hurting you so badly. Tears filled her eyes. Real tears. Not the practiced ones from before. I destroyed you because I was jealous. Because I felt invisible. Because I wanted what you had. And I'm so sorry. So deeply sorry. I looked at her. Really looked at her. My sister. My enemy. My family. I forgive you, I said. The words surprised me. But they felt right. True. Not because you deserve it. Not because it erases what happened. But because I'm tired of carrying anger. Tired of letting the past control me. Forgive you. For me. So I can move forward completely. She started crying. Shoulders shaking. Thank you. Thank you so much. We didn't hug. Didn't pretend everything was fixed. But something shifted. Some weight lifted. Some chapter finally. Truly. Closed. 6 months later. The board made it official. I was named CEO designate. Would take over fully when my father retired in 18 months. The announcement made headlines. Industry news. Business publications. Success story. From wedding humiliation to CEO. From family scapegoat to company leader. Reporters wanted interviews. Wanted the dramatic story. The revenge narrative. the sister rivalry angle. I declined most of them. But I did agree to one. A respected business magazine. Chance to tell the real story. What would you say to someone going through something similar? The reporter asked. Someone whose family doesn't believe in them. Who feels invisible, overlooked, betrayed. I thought carefully before answering. I'd say, your worth isn't determined by other people's recognition. It's determined by what you do when nobody's watching. By how you handle adversity. By whether you let pain destroy you or forge you into something stronger. Do you consider this revenge? She asked. I shook my head. This isn't revenge. Revenge would be destroying them for destroying me. This is restoration. I didn't tear anyone down. I built myself up. I didn't make Vanessa fail. She did that herself. I just kept walking forward. Kept proving my worth. Kept doing excellent work. And truth did the rest. The article came out 2 weeks later. Thoughtful, honest, respectful. It went viral. Thousands of comments from people who'd experienced similar family dynamics. Who felt unseen. Who understood. My story resonated. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was real. Because it showed that success isn't about revenge. It's about resilience. About refusing to let others define you. About building something authentic even when everything falls apart. Today, I sit in my office, CEO designate of Thompson Industries, looking at the city beyond my window, thinking about the journey that brought me here. 3 years ago, I stood at an altar, watching my life shatter, watching my sister destroy everything I'd built. I thought that was the end, thought I'd lost everything that mattered. But I was wrong. That wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The beginning of me finding my real strength, my real worth, my real self. I didn't get revenge. Got something better. Got truth. Got justice. Got peace. And most importantly, got me back. The real me. The strong Maine. The me who doesn't need anyone's approval to know her worth. My wedding. My sister tried to take everything from me. Years later, I took it all back. Not through hate, but through grace. Through excellence. Through refusing to be anything less than who I actually was. And that was the sweetest victory of all. Have you ever had to rebuild yourself after betrayal? Sometimes the best response to those who hurt us isn't revenge. It's becoming so successful, so happy, so complete, that their lies become irrelevant. What would you do in my position? How would you handle family betrayal and injustice? Share your thoughts below.